What's up, guys? This is Aaron Jordan, Mr. Know Your Worth himself. I'm a relationship coach, I'm an author, I'm a motivator. We're going to talk to real people that overcame real issues right here on Cafe Conversations. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to Cafe Conversations with Mr. Know Your Worth. Guys, like I always say, we always have prolific people on the show that have profound stories of overcoming obstacles that leads to triumph. We have the pleasure, and I'm so excited to have this conversation, we have the pleasure of having Miss Tanya Davis on the show today. Miss Tanya!
Yes, Aaron!
High five.
Yes.
How you doing? You doing all right?
Oh, absolutely wonderful.
I really appreciate you, because with everything that you have going on now and everything you have coming up, I really appreciate you having taken out time to come on the show and have a conversation with us too as well. Okay. And so how I always like to start is giving the audience, giving our viewers, letting them get a feel of who we have on the show. Because like I always say, you know, people look at the now, they look at the glam, they look at the makeup, they look at everything that's now, but they don't know the journey.
It didn't look like this.
They don't know the backstory to get us to right here. So share a little bit about yourself.
Well, Tanya Davis wears so many hats. I start talking about her in third person now, right? But,
that's when you know it gets good.
It gets good, yes, but it has not always been like this. Actually, I'm celebrating 30 years this year. 30 years clean and sober, right?
Yeah.
But 30 years ago, I was addicted to crack cocaine, and man, it was destruction.
Wow.
Selling my body, prostitution, and all those things actually go with the lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, of using drugs. And I always tell people it wasn't the drug that took me out. It was the lifestyle.
Wow.
When you get sick and tired of being sick and tired,
being
homeless,
sick and tired, yeah.
living in alleys, being talked to like some dog in the streets, and actually looking like trash in an alley where a dog comes and urinate on you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And when you say that, that's probably at your lowest.
You're at your lowest.
At the lowest point there. You know, they always say when you're at your lowest point, that's when God comes and talks to you. And so in that moment, let's talk about this. In that moment of you being at your lowest, where were you at mentally?
Suicidal.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even do that right.
Wow.
and tried several attempts too. But when you're in that state, you really don't see yourself coming back.
Wow.
It's like, hey, I'm getting ready to die here. And so you don't have any knowledge on what to do, how to do it, because you don't see it. You know, it's always visual what you see, you know, and where you are when you see yourself. And all I saw was sitting in an alley.
Wow.
For 9 years, I hadn't eaten, and people was like, you had to eat something. Well, if I got any dollars, I was going to get the drug.
Wow.
I remember my mom coming looking for me with food stamps, and she's like, I'm not giving you any money. I'm going to give you stamps. And she just didn't know that we turned it into dollars.
Wow.
Or we turn it in for drugs,
Yeah.
you know. And so it's horrifying, especially, you know, I had a daughter,
Wow.
you know, out there that I left at 8 months, and I didn't see her again until she was 5.
Wow.
And so you think about all those things. You think about hurting people over and over and over again. I remember my mom coming one time to talk to me. She would look for me all the time.
Wow.
And she would find me or hear that I was here and there. And actually, I thought they were going to kill her, because these drug dealers, they will kill you just grinning at them, looking at them the wrong way. Yeah. And she was there knocking on the door saying, I'm not leaving until you let my daughter out. And so when I finally got in the car to hear her, you know, she was saying, baby, come home. And I said, Ma, why? I'm going to leave again. You know, all I do is hurt you and my grandfather, who was one of the most important persons in my life. But, you know, when you keep doing things repetitiously, you kind of know you.
You do.
Yeah, you find out who you are, and you know who you are, you know what you'll do, how you do it, and the whole 9 yards. Now, the one thing that I did not do was, you know, I knew my mom was getting welfare for my daughter. I would never go home and take from that.
Wow.
And there's so many people out there that knew the day and the time when the check was coming, the whole 9 yards.
And they show up.
But it was something about leaving her for one, and then to take the check.
Wow.
You know, that I couldn't do. So again, we still have morals about ourselves, and we do more to ourselves than we do to others at the time. Well, we think we are, because we don't know that we're hurting you. You're not out here getting beat. You're not out here getting raped. You're not out here prostituting. You're not out here doing those things. So we feel like, long as I just hurt me, I'm not hurting anybody else.
But not understanding that the people that care about you, the people that are actually praying for you, they're hurting too.
They're hurting too, but we don't see that.
Yeah.
Because they're not there in the madness with us.
Wow.
You know, so she was, you know, preaching to me the whole 9 yards. And I told her, Ma, I gotta go. And she said, if you get out there, car, and I was like, what, kill me? Mom, I'm already dead.
Wow.
You know, I felt like I was walking dead. I used to tell people when I speak to them about the drug, I was Satan.
Wow.
You know, I walked to and fro the earth, you know what I'm saying? Seeking who I could devour.
Wow.
Your purse, your money, your credit cards, and the whole 9 yards. You didn't need him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And that's how I looked at it when I lived that life. So to live that life, be in those streets like that, you never see this.
Wow.
You don't see this.
You don't see the now.
You don't see that? No, no way.
You don't see that at all.
It was no way I would have saw this today. I really would not have saw this. Me standing here looking at, talking to you on your show, no way I did not see it. Did I see it?
Oh my God. But yeah, so you stated that you left your daughter at 8 months.
8 months, yeah.
And you saw her when she was 5 years old. How seeing her at not the baby that you saw before, seeing her growing up, being self-sufficient on her own, as far as feeding her and something. How did that impact you mentally? Seeing that.
Even today,
wow,
it impacts, because we'll have women sitting around and they'll be talking about the kid, how it kept them up, and how you feed them, and the whole 9 yards, and I don't have nothing to say.
Wow.
You know, it's very painful. It's 30 years later, and I can still feel that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a lot of hurt and pain that's behind, I call it behind the scenes, that we have to deal with.
Yeah, it is.
And some probably we will never get over.
Wow.
You know. Now today, of course, she is 35. She has her bachelor's, she has her master's, she's a social worker. I have 4 beautiful grandkids, which I never thought I would see by giving her away. But the reconciliation that God brought into our lives is just amazing.
Wow. And the thing I want to touch on too, in that story, in that transition, it seemed like that forgiveness was a huge part in that. And so in that, so I know in that it was some self-doubt in yourself. It was some very low moments. How did you forgive yourself? Because you have to forgive yourself first before you can forgive someone else. How did you do that?
Well, we go many of years trying to make up.
Yep.
So I learned how to cut hair in prison.
Oh yeah.
With a toenail clipper.
With the who?
With the toenail clipper.
So back then I had hair. So you mean you could have gave me a taper fade?
Well, not a taper fade, but I could have cut it low. I could have cut it low with a toenail. Well, scissors were contraband. Yeah. And so when you're in prison, you got to get creative. And there's so much creativity in there. If we could bottle it up and model it, we'd be rich right now. But so I started cutting hair with the toenail clipper and using the inmates as guinea pigs. And that's actually how I became a hairstylist, is because the guards and everybody was encouraging me, when you get out, you need to go to hair school. And I heeded to the call. And of course, I'll be retiring this year from behind the chair, 30 years.
Come on now.
30 years clean, 30 years in the business. But the forgiveness part comes when I get her back. We want everything to go back like nothing happened.
Wow.
And it's not that way.
Not that way, yeah.
And I remember going to a NA meeting and sharing, and them tough loving me, saying, you created this. Like, I had a year clean and my mom's still moving her purse. And I'm like, but why are you moving it? I'm clean. But just because I'm clean doesn't mean she's healed. Yeah. And she's not at that point of trusting me yet. And so today I'm a power of attorney over everything. That's the good news, right? But even with the daughter, bringing her back and her rejecting you. You know, I grind as much as I could. I turned that bad hustle into good hustle, and I got us a house, and I'm setting it all up, and then she doesn't want to come.
Wow.
Because she's used to being with grandma. So that's another barrier that I have to hurdle, I have to jump over. And I always have to say, you did it.
Yeah.
This wouldn't be that way if it wasn't for you. So I have to accept responsibility.
Take ownership.
And take ownership of it and move forward. And sometimes it's very painful because you have to allow others to be happy.
Exactly.
Okay, I've already been gone.
Yeah.
So now I want to come back and make everybody happy. My mom's missing her too.
Yeah.
And so it gets to a point where you say, you know what, just forget it. You know, keep moving, keep doing for them. I felt like I owed my mom because she could have been in the system. So my mom was a good grandmother.
Wow.
I felt like I owed my daughter everything that she would ever want because I missed out on so much. So now you're going through that guilt thing. Like so I got to do this and I got to do this and I got to do this because of what I did.
Yeah, making it seem like in yourself you have to make it right.
I have to make it right. Yeah. And so with that even being said, like I said, it's forgiveness, it's understanding what you did.
Wow.
You know, and when you recognize and like you said, take ownership of it, then it becomes easy.
Wow. But the thing is, I don't think people understand the hardship in taking ownership because there's layers to it.
Oh yeah.
Because when you take ownership of something, you're actually putting it out there saying like, okay, well, I did this. I caused this. Now you have to sit in that. Have to sit in that hurt, sit in that pain.
Yeah.
Knowing that like, okay, well, this is something that stemmed from my doing.
My doing, yeah.
This is the hurt that I caused from people that are praying for me, people that are loving me. Wow.
Yeah. And you're going to continuously make mistakes.
Yeah.
And you're learning as you go. It's like being one at 40, you know what I'm saying, or 30. No, seriously.
Yeah.
Because in that ownership, you're doing things that you think is the right thing to do. So, of course, when I do get her back and she's with me now and I want to give her the world, now I'm working hard.
Yeah.
And I would work so hard behind that chair that I would pay you to take her to the dance, or you, because I'm thinking giving Parissa everything she wants is making her happy. Later finding out, she didn't even want that. She wanted my time. So I'm going through life thinking I'm doing the right thing, you know, because it definitely wasn't what I used to do, but it still was wrong.
Yeah.
And so I still had to learn that over again, you know, so now I can do that with my grandkids.
Wow.
Like they'll ask me for things and really I don't even want to buy it. I just want to be there.
Yeah.
You know,
just be in the midst.
In the midst, because that's important.
Exactly. I told you guys we have an awesome show, and I'm loving this conversation. Guys, we'll be right back on Cafe Conversations with Mr. Know Your Worth.
I've been fortunate to live in Middle Tennessee all my life. I love the culture, the people, and the Southern traditions. People often ask, why are you so passionate about what you do? It's simple. I love people. I've been privileged to serve the Middle Tennessee area as an award-winning, top-producing realtor since 2011. My name is Gabrielle Garner, and I'm here to lead you home. Call today for your complimentary consultation.
Today's show was brought to you by Tennessee Minority Pages, your one-stop shop for minority businesses. Hey guys, welcome back to Cafe Conversations with Mr. Know Your Worth. Guys, we all, like I told you before, I always like having profound people on the show that overcome obstacles and that leads to triumph. We have the pleasure of having Miss Tanya Davis here on the show with us. Hey, Miss Davis, how you doing? You still here with me?
Yes.
I haven't ran you off yet, have I?
No.
But no, I felt it going there. I felt it going there to a point where we're about to get ready and change lives. So in that moment of, you was talking about your legacy with your grandkids and you having that second chance. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, just, you know, you make mistakes on the first one, and I think that's where grandparents do. You know what I'm saying? And plus, of course, you can give them back.
You're a grandparent.
I'm a grandmother of 4. Yes.
What, Miss Davis?
Yes, I made it. Look, I'm still here.
Yeah.
But you know the mistakes you made the first time, and you don't want to make them again.
Yeah.
You want to be very open and candid. And there's new generations, and so it's different levels.
It's levels to it.
Oh my gosh. So the good thing about our grandkids being raised today is that I call myself, I'm the street person.
Yeah.
I'm the hard knocks college.
Yeah.
Okay. And my daughter has all these degrees, so
Yeah.
she's the educational person. And we broke some barriers. My daughter actually was the first ever in our entire family to go to college.
Wow.
And then now we have our first grandchild at WKU, honors
on,
program, beauty and brains,
on,
okay? But at the end of the day, you know, knowing both is very important.
Yeah, it
knowing
is.
those streets, knowing boys,
Of course.
you know, so
I'm not ready for that. But
get ready and start having those conversations
yeah.
now.
I have reluctantly, subconsciously in my mind, but I have.
Yeah, we have middle school doing vapor.
Wow.
So
that is true.
Yeah,
I've
all
seen
that stuff is going on. Homosexuality, it's not. It doesn't start later. It's it's now.
Yeah,
you know.
it is.
So you have those conversations, and I love everybody. Don't get me wrong. I don't care about your religion, your sex, or anything like that. I just love people. I never saw color before. I've been around everybody all my life.
Yeah.
My mom has raised me that way, and we've raised our children. So you have those conversations, you know, when your granddaughter comes home and says, you know what, Mom, I think I'm going to marry a white guy. And I say, okay, long as he's treating you nice,
Yeah.
you know. We don't have those other type of conversations
Yeah.
in our house. It's just whatever you want and whatever right,
Yeah.
you know. And so to be able to do that with the grandkids, it helps
Yeah.
to know that you play some type of role in their lives. And again, I don't have to be as hand-on as Mom, because that's another generational curse that we had to. My grandparents raised me. My mama raised her.
Wow.
And so I said, let's cut it off here. Everybody
Zorro.
raised their own, right? And that's painful too,
Yeah.
because I know now how my mother felt
Yeah.
when she didn't raise me, so she had that second chance in raising Parissa, that
Wow.
opportunity, and you get so close. And so I wanted to do it too. Everybody else had their chance, you know what I'm saying? But I know today that what's right is
Yeah.
right and what's wrong is wrong, and it was time
Yeah.
we got 2 more girls,
Wow.
and Mom has to be Mom, not grandmother continuously
Yeah.
raising the children down the line.
Down the line.
You know.
And the thing about it is like that, if you think about it in a lot of families and a lot of dynamics, that's the dynamic of the
Yeah.
family
Yeah.
too as well. So let's shift the dynamic a little bit. Let's
Okay.
shift, because you know the relationship guy is what they say. So in that, and when you was going through your tumultuous things in your life, or going through those obstacles, how did that affect your relationships, or not only just in a romantic relationship, but with people that were in your life that you thought that, okay, well, they have my best interests at heart, and how did that change your dynamic in those relationships?
Well, there's 2 folds.
Okay,
Let's talk about relationships since you're the expert. Okay.
that's what they say.
But in relationships, after doing what I did and being where I've been, because you know most guys, they want a version or next closest thing to it.
Closest
okay.
thing to
and
it,
I'm
okay.
far from it.
Okay.
Okay. But at the end of the day, I was just open and honest up front. Now, some relationships work that way, and then others didn't.
Yeah.
One says, I love that you're so honest.
Yeah.
And then turn around and flip it on you.
And be like, man, I can't believe she said that.
No, not that part, but don't answer the phone. And then what I've told him, in his mind, that's what I'm doing.
Wow. So the jealousy sets in.
Yeah, it kind of hurts you by
Yeah.
telling the truth,
Yeah.
in a sense. But then I found out later that it wasn't me telling the truth. It was a man being a man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, for instance, my husband. You have to be a strong man to be with me.
Yeah.
Not in the sense of just me being a woman, but to own what I did.
Yeah.
Because it's no secret. It's in a book.
Yeah.
It's open out there,
And a play, too.
And in the play, right?
You saw how I just threw that in there, right?
But, you know, I thought about what he wrote in the testimony of my book. He said, when reading this book and knowing what my wife went through, I wanted to hurt some people.
Wow.
But then I wanted to cry because I share her pain.
Wow.
But now I know that God left her here for me.
Wow.
So a man to be able to say that
Yep.
and stand in front of any, or stand against any man that have a conversation, another man might come up and say, man, you know, I had that girl.
Yeah.
What if that happens?
Yeah.
I don't remember half of the stuff I did, but at the end of the day, how does that man react to that? Do he go home and act like this is something new?
Yeah.
Even though it was in the past?
30 years ago.
Right, 30 years
yeah.
ago, whatever. Or do he own it?
Wow.
And say, man, don't say that about my wife.
Yeah.
That's why I love Megan Good's husband.
Wow.
Because he gon' fight for his wife.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
He said, look, whatever she want to do.
Yeah.
It was my calling. It wasn't hers.
Wow.
So she don't have to be this first lady, you know, because he's a pastor.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about him. And then when the audience try to go after her about how she looks on the cover of a magazine, he said, ho, 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 right? He said, ho, ho, ho. Yes. So that's my husband.
Yeah.
And I would have had to have that
Wow.
for us to be able to make it and live the way we live and be good, and it's all good. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
He trusts me. I trust him. And conversations we've had in the past, they're just in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I have been through the other side too
Yeah.
of being honest.
Wow.
So it can kind of hurt you, and then
hurt you a little bit,
yeah.
and then on the other side. So in that, so now let's shift it a little bit.
Okay.
So now we have the Tanya Davis today.
Ah!
That's inspiring women all across the United States. That's really tapping into, because the thing is that I know you say you're retiring from from your hair salon this year, right? So, but the thing is, just think about all those people that you touched along the way. That was your ministry.
It was ministry even before I knew it was ministry.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I like to just let things just sit in that for a minute, and you think about it, because you think about the fact of doing something you love that you
Oh
learn.
my God, I haven't worked.
Exactly. And so look at the gift in that. Look at the power in that. You not working, but you obtained a gift of being
And build wealth along the way.
We ain't even talking to them.
Okay.
We ain't gonna hold on now. We ain't gonna talk about that. I'm trying to go somewhere. We talking about. I'm gonna pass around a collection plate to you in a minute
Okay.
now. But no, but I'm saying that to say, look at the lives that you impacted along the way, and then that leads to, because you had to go through something to get to where you are now, to be able to stand in and be the vessel to be able to lead and inspire women. So you just recently, I think it was back in March, you just recently had your conference. It's called Women Who Rock Nashville.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Did you see the shirt?
Come on now. I see the bling. But no, let's talk about that, because it was an awesome event. And let's talk about that. How did you come up with that?
Well, for my 60th birthday,
Okay.
I always tell people at 50, I dropped it like it was hot. I got back up. 60, I was like, you don't want to make yourself look bad.
Yeah.
Bones don't do what they used to do, okay? But I was sitting there thinking about legacy. I was thinking about purpose. I was thinking about things of that nature, and I was actually looking at Black Girls Rock too, because I love Beverly Bond.
Yeah.
But I realized that my friends are not just Black.
Yeah.
And so, and then Nashville being a diverse community.
Very diverse.
I didn't want to leave anybody out. And so I sat on the couch, and God gave me Women Who Rock Nashville.
Wow.
Now, it was a birthday celebration. That's the thought.
Yep.
But I want to give back. So I want to honor women that's been doing things in the community. You know, we work hard. We start working hard just coming out the womb.
Yeah.
Bearing children that you can't do. I know you can't. Probably makes you sick right now thinking about
you see my knee just started going like that.
But we do so much, and I just think we don't get enough credit.
Yeah.
And so I put on Facebook, and I think I named every industry you can think of, from doctor's, lawyer, preacher's, teacher, cancer survivor, domestic violence, alcoholism, drug, whatever, addiction recovery, whatever it was I could name, I named it. And that post went bananas.
Wow.
It didn't go viral,
But
because I didn't have but it had
impact.
a big impact, and people were saying, you're on the stuff. And people that had never liked my post was liking it. So I knew I was onto something, right? But it started to grow these legs.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, I had no idea how I was going to do it. I just had an ideal.
Yeah.
And so the first thing I get in my inbox is that, have you thought about an all-girl band? Well, I knew we were going to have a band, live band,
Yeah.
but not an all-girl band.
Wow.
That made sense. Women who rock, right?
Yeah.
So we did that. I put Kojo over that. And then I was in San Francisco
Okay.
at the prison.
Okay.
And I got a call from Tarita Wright, and she says, Tawana Coleman from Channel 5 wants you to come on the show.
Oh, yeah.
So we went on that show, and then we started looking for people. Well, let's get a host. Let's get some presenters. Let's do this. And then Vicki Yates, and you know, she just got an
man.
Emmy.
Come on now.
Oh my God.
Come on now. Big shouts out to Ms.
Yes,
Vicki
yes.
Yates
And this
as
is her second year with us. And it wasn't that she said yes, it was how she said yes.
well. Wow.
She was, I don't know her like that.
Yeah.
We're from Detroit, but I don't know her. And so she said, yeah, I want to be with the women who rock.
Wow.
I can't wait to be with the women who rock.
Wow.
And then it just started growing all these legs, and then it went to entertainment, then it went to dancers in the whole 9 yards,
Oh,
red
man.
carpet, dinner.
Come on
you
now.
know, and an
Just made a
amazing
whole
award
event out
show,
of it.
dressed to the nines,
Come on
okay? And then Channel 5 came out and covered it, you know, and you know, it's just an amazing show, and
Wow.
what it does and how it inspires. The posts of people saying, I didn't know what to expect. I felt like I was at the Oscars. It was amazing. Everybody, you know, people came by themselves because they really didn't know if the men should come or not, you know. So we
Yeah.
had to start modeling to the men, and we started putting them in position of being presenters. So
Yeah.
we had a lot of men presenters this year.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes, yes, amazing men too. But and that's always been on our mission, that the men would come out and support all the beautiful women.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And
Ms. Tanya Davis, you have a lot of amazing things going on. Let the viewers know where they can get in contact with you,
Okay.
how they can be able to support Women Who Rock Nashville's 2021.
that's right. WomenWhoRockNashville.org. Please go on and join. It's saying get involved. Get involved with us or get involved with some organization. We also have a resource page listed on there with all resources for women, from housing to food to you name it, diseases, child care, whatever that is for a woman's needs. It's listed on our website.
Ms. Tanya Davis, you have you have an amazing story, and I appreciate you coming on Cafe Conversations to really delve in deep and have that conversation with us. I appreciate your time.
All right.
Ms. Davis.
So silly.
I told you guys we're going to have an awesome, awesome show, guys. I appreciate you for tuning into Cafe Conversations with Mr. Know Your Worth.